he has the ability to perform miracles and stuff. So that bloodline was very important, and that's what they were hiding. As well as looking for that gold box. The Ark of the Covenant. That's always been a quest for them.
Which is that radio.
Correct, radio. Yes. It's a good question.
What was the question?
It's in a book. Is this in a book?
Leviathan talks about the War of the Roses.
Leviathan goes into a little bit.
Lancasters in New York.
Yeah, that goes into a little bit.
Philiacs and the slave trade.
Yeah. It's in a lot of different books. It has little pieces of it. Little pieces of the puzzle. Set the record straight. That's definitely so.
What was the name of this Diopus? Sheikh Diopus? He was from I think Kenya, and he was doing some samples, trying to find out whether Pharaoh's black. And
Dia.
what's his name?
Dia. Synagogue.
Yeah, synagogue.
Bolo.
So they downgraded his studies when he found out that the majority of the pharaohs and the Egyptian lineage were black.
Correct. Yeah, right? They still try to discount his studies.
Lead to that. I was trying to get to it. I forgot. Oh man.
Yeah, he has an excellent. He's one of his teachers. Bob said we should definitely study.
Oh, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
so tying it into, did he detect the gold in the blood? That's what I was trying to go with.
No, the gold in the blood is something that
it's not detectable.
No, nobody really knows about it. That's why you don't hear it.
Say that.
It's a secret. Right. Most people don't speak about it simply because they don't know. You hear about the gold, the liquid gold, Mephibosheth, and it's something that's been trickled out from beginning. Secret societies and things like that. We always look for that. We hear about it all the time.
Right.
In alchemy.
Right.
What's alchemy? Change the base metals to gold. Right. In actual fact, alchemy was changing the gold from solid or liquid gold into a powder, which basically, what happens with liquid, I'm gonna get right to you, Jamie, with liquid gold, it's transforming gold from a material state to a spiritual state while still maintaining
the same properties?
Not the same properties, but still being physical. You follow? Basically, matter that's lighter than matter. You follow? The sacred ash. That's
say that one more time.
Sacred ash.
Say what's like?
Sacred ash.
Okay.
Yeah. When Bible used to create the sacred ash, that was liquid gold in a powder form. If you put it in a liquid and drink it becomes liquid gold. You follow? It's a way that the Bible said that when you speed it up with the right properties, it basically that the atoms arrange themselves, right, where it can't become solid again, and it creates a powder. But this powder, because it has
high energized state.
Exactly. Tell her high energized state. You follow? It is no longer what we would consider matter, and it creates a wormhole effect, things like that. It can be used to heal.
Take a life of his own?
Not take a life of his own, but it would be able to heal, creates long life. And what Bible said is that when the Anunnaki and the thorough different beings come down, all right, and they take on a physical form, that physical form then is now governed by the laws of our physical planet. All right? So in order to stay here for a long period of time, they created this elixir of life in a soluble form so you can take it and it prolong your life while here. Follow? And the Adamites always sought that formula on how to create that liquid gold. Then later, the study came how to change base metals to gold for those who didn't know about the secrets of Mephibosheth. So they started studying alchemy, how you change base metals to gold, how you change lead and everything to gold. And that was the lesser science of the higher science, the degrees that they didn't know about. But the wise amongst them, since they couldn't find the formula, they sought to try to get it in the blood of the Nagaru. And that's why they would take the mummies and chop them up and eat
Grind
them.
them up.
Grind them up.
That's my next
and
question.
sell them. They would sell them.
Right.
They created potions they would sell,
Yeah.
to try to get the liquid gold.
That was my friends did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
In the 1920s is when they ended that practice.
Yeah.
For over 100 years, that's what they would sell as medicines.
The
Various
cure
cures
leprosy.
in Europe and throughout Europe.
Mhm.
While
Yeah,
all
so-
the mummies, they would raid rob them and get the gold property, and they were hoping to find royalty because they knew that they would intake the liquid
Yeah.
elixirs of the gold.
Yeah, they were hoping to find that gold formula or gold in the blood.
The Spaniards were over here looking for that fountain
Correct.
of youth also, and then they had heard the stories about Enki, because Enki, when he was amongst those people in South America, he was using the gold and bathing in it, they said.
Yeah.
And they called him El Dorado, or El Hombre Dorado, because he was bathing himself in this gold lotion. Right? But then when Hernando Cortez came, because he was tall, they thought that he was the return of Enki, from whom the Incas got their name.
Yeah.
Who got
You
that
thought
name?
you think-
From who?
Huh?
The Incas?
The Incas got their name from Enki.
Inky. Right.
Right. They're all looking for that gold. And Bob said they create the blood banks to this day looking for it. That's why they'll still they want that
We live forever.
the afterlife,
Yeah.
afterbirth. They want it. Trying to
Yes.
find any way they
They'll
can
let
to
you take
find
it
that
out no
liquid
more.
gold.
But they try to do that.
You know what they do? Telling you a Jew. That's what I did. And they immediately was like,
Gotcha.
all right. They was mad. Yeah, they literally, right in the room, the lady asked me, said, the doctor was like, well, what religion? I said, I'm Hebrew, Jewish. And then the nurse said, oh, okay, yeah, I know what you mean. Literally, like, later, so then it was like, here, sign, you gotta sign this, such and such. It was mad, but it was like, that word you use it when you can. I'm Jewish. They immediately stopped. Like, hey, all right, you
That
can't.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So they put that.
Well,
They don't have no right to keep it.
Yeah,
I
we got
know.
the placenta from the kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah, they try their best to
I
keep
didn't
it.
say I was Jewish. I said I was Muslim, and they gave it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, but they gave it to me.
Yeah, they have to give it. They can't keep it.
Yeah.
But they'll try everything they can to make you think that you can't take it.
Right.
But anything they can to get that liquid
Yeah.
gold, they're trying their best.
Wow.
Yeah.
All kind of weird stuff with it.
Yeah.
Eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stay away from them. All right. If we look at the chart the master put in the beginning of the proof, and it says Yanun the Etherian from Risk, then get Zeta from the Biru and Anunnaki, the Hutri from Sabtu or Sirius and the Tharu, and Dr. Malachi Z. York, our Baba, who's here now, right? So if we look at it, it shows that Yanun is both these individuals. Follow? But these two people are different. One being from Sabtu or Natharu, the other being from Nibiru, born on Nibiru, and Anunnaki, the son of Ningizida being the son of Enki, an Anunnaki, and Hesat, a Natharu from Egypt. All these beings are in the body of Dr. Malachi Z. York, which would make at times Baba an Anunnaki, a human, a Netheru, and a man from planet Risk, and an Etherian, because the Etherian speaks to him. So the nature of how these Etherians exist is not like on how we perceive existence. So the Igigi can be on risk, then be in Septu, then be here, because Enki was also of the 24 elders, and you see his name, and he is one of the Igigi. You follow? So we're dealing with, for lack of a better word, beings who exist in different points in space and times under different names and different titles, sharing the same soul with different spirits. Different spirits create different individuals. You follow what I'm saying? So sometimes when looking at the Igigi, for example, we can't look at them under the same lens as we do, say, Enki. Because there are many different Enkis, actually. Enki just seems the master of Earth. One Enki being the son of Anu and his wife Id from the sea. You follow what I'm saying? So what Baba explained is that some of this information cannot be understood. It can only be felt and experienced. So our job is to learn as much as we can in order to be able to experience that reality that he's speaking about. Okay? So the Igigi, the Etherians, they exist in many different forms and then in many different places. Dare I say at the same time in space. You know, because Baba said he can be, or he is, on Nibiru, one age, here another age, another planet as a child, different ages as an Etherian. Alright? Yeah, okay. Keep going.
I was going to ask if you can read the part about the
Enough to that?
And you said there were some invaders that found out some secrets made out of a gold box called the Ark and used it as a radio.
Okay. That was the Knights of Templar.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is the part I said. I'm reading this part. Let me know if this is. They were given only 3 degrees of the 9 degrees, and took that out of Egypt to become their laws and secret teachings of the Kabbalah. But much was hidden as the testament of Solomon on how to control the 6 evil forces by the seal or ring given to him by his Egyptian consort, taken from Egypt, given to Solomon. They even had the secrets to raise a dead person back to a zombie-type life, a Frankenstein-like creature called a golem, how to build a gold box or ark that became a radio to speak from Earth to Sahu Orion in the transformation of matter. The sovereign and priestly order passed from Egypt to the Kohan priests of Jerusalem, to the Europeans who came to Jerusalem as the Knights of Templars to find the secrets dug under Solomon's temple, until they found them, but they were killed because they would not give it to the Catholic Church. They became rich and powerful by what they found there about Jesus' own bloodline, the Secret Heart, the Order of Irish, the Scottish Rite Order of the Scotland Secret Satanic Orders. Much the Church do not want them to know about Egypt and the Amen. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
The Vatican now, like the Pope, I probably wrong, but I'm just skimming the surface of the internet. It acknowledges Jesus, quote unquote, as being black.
I don't know if he actually acknowledged it.
Well, not necessarily denying it to the extent that there's a picture of a black Jesus in his, sanctum sanctorum, for instance, the world that he goes in. Okay. Now, one of the secrets that my understanding is one of the secrets that the Knights Templar found out was that Jesus was actually a Nagato, or black, and his bloodline was as well, and they kind of like how should I say, there's a word for it, blackmail the church, to the extent that, listen, we know that he was black, and all these cracker pictures, so give us, and that's how the Knights Templar, got rich. They pretty much blackmailed the Vatican and the Catholic Church and things like that.
No.
No, okay.
The Knights of Templar, their power base was Jerusalem,
Okay, how so?
because that's where Solomon's temple was at. They were trying to. What happened? The Knights of Templar. This was during the Crusades when they got popular or strong, and they were basically protecting the pilgrims, because Jerusalem was for Christians, Jews, and Muslims.
Okay.
That one holy city. All right. And what they were doing was protecting those pilgrims, Christian pilgrims, in the holy wars. But they were also digging up under Solomon's temple, because they were looking for the gold box, the communication device. And while doing that, they got very popular, they got very strong, they got very wealthy. All right. And what happens is they weren't protecting the fact that Jesus was black, because at that time the image of Jesus hadn't been established yet. If you look at a lot of older pictures of Jesus, he doesn't look like a white man. It wasn't until really when
Paul the Sixth.
I think it was him. So they had to start having a proliferation of white Jesus images. You know, as the papal or the Pope and the Catholic Church got bigger and bigger. All right, and then they started filtering out all the darker images, hiding them, looting them, keeping them hidden away, and they started perpetrating the white image of Jesus. But the Knights of Templar, they knew about the bloodline of Jesus. And that's what they were trying. That's the secret they knew, that Jesus was, as Baba explained. Well, let me go back. I'm trying to part to start. Okay, if you go back, right, most Christians will always say Jesus was from the line of Judah.
Right.
They always say Jesus line of Judah, the conquering line of Judah,
Right.
conquering line of Judah. Jesus' father, his supposed stepfather, Joseph,
Right.
was a Judahite.
Right.
His mother was not a Judahite.
She's Levite.
She was a Levite.
Right.
All right? So Jesus was not of the tribe of Judah.
Right.
He was a Levite.
Right.
The
Which is
Levite,
law.
the lawgivers.
Right.
But also the Levites were the one, remember, when Moses went before Pharaoh,
Right.
and what did he do? They got a conflict. Moses threw down his staff, it became a snake.
Right.
And the Pharaohs did the same.
Right.
Because Moses was part of that school from Tahuti.
Okay.
All right? So they knew the secrets, which was passed down from the Levite tribe. That's why the Levites created the Kabbalah. If you look at the Kabbalah and all its mysticism, they got that from studying under the tribe, the school of Tahuti. All right? So they knew 3 of those degrees. So correct. So eventually, when Haramun, Jesus was born, a Levite with the holy blood, he was taught those secrets. That's why he went back to Egypt. His bloodline then had the gold blood. So when he had children, the Knights Templar knew that.
Right. The son
They,
and daughter. Yes,
correct.
the daughter.
They knew about the family. So they are the ones who took his family and hid him away. They held that secret. So they knew he was black, but they weren't necessarily hiding the fact that he was black. They just knew he was like, yo, we got to protect it because we want the gold. Bible said that the secret societies were always about the gold in the blood, getting the elixir of life to prolong themselves. Even to this day, that's the whole secret of all these so-called
Cryogenics, they can try to freeze
Exactly.
themselves, anything.
and as well as all the so-called secret societies, the Masonic lodge, the Shriners, they all talk about a secret. 99.9% of them don't know what that secret really is.
Right.
The secret is the gold in the blood. And the Caucasians, the Adamites, were always seeking that gold in the blood.
Right.
Which is why they was over here. Probably said this was a whole pyrogenic experiment to get us here, mix with us for the gold in the blood to prolong their life. You follow? So that's what the Knights of Templar had. The dispute they had with the King of France realized how powerful they were, and they didn't bow to him. He said, "I got to take y'all out." They were now not enemies, but potential, a threat to his kingdom, and he needed money for a war. So he basically created lies and stuff. I don't know what lies and stuff they were doing, but started stories, and the Catholic Church came down on them from the things they heard about peeing on the cross, desecration, the things they were doing, and the Catholic Church came down on them and started stealing they didn't steal, they took all their wealth from them, what they could take. Exactly. And then some of those so-called Shriners escaped. Some of those so-called Knights of Templar escaped.
Right.
And, we helped them to a degree. Some of the original, those inhabitants in Spain and stuff like that helped them.
Like
And
the
then-
Moors and all that.
This is before the Moors. And
Yeah,
later
I know.
on, later on, it was the Moors who helped them. But yeah,
So it wasn't because he was black, it was because
they want that blood, the gold in the blood.
Gotcha.